So I'm going to talk about Qubes OS. Anyone heard of it? I got 3 or 4. Okay, so it's basically a Linux distribution that attempts to attack security by a different approach. Not totally different. There are other things in the marketplace that do it. The differentiator is that the vast majority of it's open source. We'll cover that later on. The goal is security via isolation using virtual machines. So we're going to use the Zen environment as the virtualization layer, but they had to do things with it to overcome some lack of functionality that they wanted. It's designed for a desktop or a laptop environment, not a server environment, and it's designed for a windowing environment. So the assumption is that everything you do will be in a window out of X eventually. The basic goal is to allow people to have several different security domains active at the same time. So you'll have one or more windows in one security domain, some other windows in another security domain, and we want isolation between those domains, but we want to allow certain things to be passed between them. The types of attacks that it's trying to prevent come into, I think, 2 groups. One of them is an application, for whatever reason, has something bad. Think of it as you go to a website that tries to install stuff. We don't want that to install permanently, and we want to stop the malware doing something for a period of time. The other attack is that they're trying to prevent is something actually attacking your network hardware and the stack above it. So we're trying to stop someone getting into the network stack and then owning the system. So to stop the latter, we have the stack as in a separate virtual machine that's only allowed to do network stuff and things connect to it. To isolate everything else, we have them all in separate VMs. So separate VMs means we need to load a small piece of the operating system for every instance. We're not using a common kernel, we're using a new operating system, etc., as a VM. The way we differentiate between the security domains at the moment is there's a name for it, and it's got a colour used in the border of the window. So they're using 2 things. Obviously, the colour thing has accessibility issues for people with visual impairments, but nothing's perfect. So that's the way it works. There is cut and paste available between the security domains, but you have to actually do stuff in both domains for things to go. So you do an act to cut it in this one, and then you do an act to enable yourself to paste it in the other one. There's no automation between the two to stop things walking between them, and the activities happen outside of the security domain. So they're happening in the DOM0 domain. Qubes OS is currently in production as release 1 that supports Linux environment. Release 1 did not support the hardware virtualization level needed for Windows. Release 2 is in the beta 1, I think, at the moment, and that's supporting the Windows type environment. So Microsoft Windows and presumably some other operating systems might fall in there. It's giving a hardware virtualization type environment. The environment is all open source except that Invisible Things Lab, who are doing all the work, or the vast majority of the work for this, will be putting some proprietary stuff in the Windows environment. They haven't said what that is or whatever. The beta allows you to run Windows in that environment without any proprietary code. So my guess, and I emphasise the word guess, is it will be stuff to help enterprises do stuff and fancy things integrating into the Microsoft environment across things rather than anything else. Have a look at qubes-os.org and download and have a play. It's got quite an active mailing list up there, the developers mailing list, so there's a lot of stuff happening, answering questions. It's all up there on the web. Questions? Oh, someone other than Casey ask a question.
Okay. I'll ask the obvious question. Okay. Isolation is easy. Sharing is hard.
Yep.
What do you do about sharing, aside from cut and paste?
At the moment, between the domains, there is none. You can do stuff via the network if you wanted to do the programming. So we've got a network VM, and it's possible to do stuff in there. But that's the whole idea, is to try and have these isolations so that you can have an environment which is untrusted on the web, and it launches, forces the launch of an application, and they're hoping to get it so it will nicely launch other applications, but they will all be in that one security domain.